What's going on, everybody? Jason here, and today I've got this crazy futuristic looking 2022 Audi E-Tron GT. And if you're unfamiliar with the 2022 Audi E-Tron, there's two different trims that you can get. This one right here, the GT model, which you're looking at, of course, and you can get the RS E-Tron GT, which is a much, in my opinion, better than this, of course, with the power, and it has a few other goodies, interior wise, specs and all of that, which make it look way better, and obviously performance wise. And in terms of safety features, this does come packed with a ton of safety features, such as cross alert, Audi Presense 360, so you get the basic front and rear, lane departure warning, Audi side assist, rear cross detection, swerve assist, traffic sign recognition, and emergency assist. And if we start right off at the front, you can just see how futuristic this car looks. It actually just looks like a concept car, but you can actually buy one of these, and just the front of it just looks very mean looking and aggressive. You can see you've got, you know, a ton of room obviously down here opening, and then a bunch of cameras, sensors, and all of that, just because I've mentioned the safety features that this does have. And of course, you've got the front sensors built right in, and just the whole front end just looks very mean and aggressive. And these lights are the Audi laser lights, which I think look so much better from any other car in the market right now. Just the way that they're designed, you can see kind of like an X pattern, and these turn signals, I'll show you in a second, are kind of like an adaptive turn signal, which looks really nice. And of course, you've got the iconic Olympic ring Audi logo right there. So as you can see, the turn signals that I just turned on, you can just see how nice and flush that looks with the whole design of the vehicle. I think the headlights are from the exterior are one of my favorite features of this car. And even on the rear, I'll show you, it's exactly like how the front is. They are very nice. Just look at how it looks. And even from the side profile of the vehicle, you can just see how low and planted it is to the ground. It reminds me of, you know, their Audi R8s, which are obviously very low to the ground, and this one is as well. It's very planted, so you know you've got that control when you need it. And these wheels are probably another one of my favorite features on the exterior. These are the 5-spoke 20-inch aluminum with the gloss black inserts. They just look really mean and aggressive and complement the vehicle, especially it being black. Also, there are 3 different options that you can get with the wheels, so which is good. If you don't like these, you have 2 other options to choose from. And I'll show you once we get inside. But on the roof, this is a full panoramic sunroof. You can't really see it from right now just because of the reflection and stuff, but on the inside, it looks really nice. Also, you've got these fully blacked out with the turn signals, the side mirrors. These are power folding side mirrors, of course, and then you've got your camera on the side as well. Also, on all of the door handles, you'll notice these lights illuminated at night, of course, and it just adds to that luxury touch when it comes to Audi. And when it comes to charging, you do have 2 separate charge ports, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side, because you can charge this from, I believe it's 5% to 80% in like 22.5 minutes, which is crazy. And if we close this and go on the other charge port, I believe Audi says that it'll charge overnight in about 9 hours or so. As we make our way to the rear of this E-Tron GT, you can just see how crazy this looks. And I just love this light bar that goes all the way across and blends into this one over here. It's just so unique how they did this, and I love how Audi does all of their vehicles. They're one of my favorite brands. And again, you've got, you know, another Audi logo and then the E-Tron GT logo right there. Just like the front, you've also got obviously sensors in the back built into the bumper. And I love the design and the shape of this, I guess you can call it a rear diffuser, which just makes it look very aggressive and planted. Also, what I like about these taillights, like I showed you the turn signal, if you go ahead and press unlock on your remotes, just look at how the lights are dancing. It's just so nice and very cool. And going into the trunk of the vehicle, of course, you can see you have a decent amount of room in here. So even though this is a fully electric vehicle, you still got a decent amount of room. Of course, you've got space back here on both sides to put small little items. Of course, you've got a 12-volt adapter in the rear as well. And of course, in here, if you want to flick this up, you can put very small things inside, just to hide away if you want. In here, you do get your chargers that you would need, of course. You've got it right here. It comes fully packaged from the factory. And to open up your frunk, hood, whatever you want to call it, you're going to open up the driver's side here, and then right here is your button. So you're just going to press that. It will pop it open, and let's take a look what's underneath here. So in here, of course, you have your very own frunk, and then in the trunk you can put stuff. In here you've got a decent amount of room to put like groceries, small little bags and stuff like that, so you can have space in here. And in the rear you've got LED lighting inside, and pretty much that's it. You've got a nice frunk in the front, just to put little things and whatnot. So if you don't want anything in the back, you want it in the front, put it in the front. As for the key, when it comes to the Audi e-tron, it's a very traditional Audi key, of course, very nice looking and feeling. You've got your lock button, your trunk release right here, unlock, and you've got the Audi logo right underneath, which looks really cool. And on the back you've got a panic button and your e-tron logo right there. And heading into the rear of the e-tron GT, you can just see the premium quality that Audi has chosen for this vehicle, of course. Not just this one, but all of their vehicles they do this with. You've got this fully leather or hard leather up top, and then this nice Alcantara type material right over here, and this nice brushed aluminum around the door handles just makes it look very nice, especially with the sharp edges and stuff like that. You've got a speaker right here, and then you've got another one here. This one does have the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is ridiculous. You've got leather all along here, and then right down here just small little stuff that you can put in there. And they've added a nice little touch of kind of like an LED interior lighting, which is another cool touch. As for the actual rear seats, these are very comfortable, and they're very plush. I love the design and the feel of the center right here with this nice, I guess you can say not diamond, but kind of like a block pattern, which just is amazing. I don't know how to explain it. And these seats, as you can see, they're pretty deep for a typical vehicle, but this one is still very comfortable, and you've got another space if you want someone in the middle. I don't know if you would, but these are probably the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. Also, this vehicle is equipped with a package which does give you heated seats in the rear, and kind of like a digital temperature control for the rear as well, and of course venting. And in the center here, if you open this up, there's a little latch in there. You've got two cup holders if you want to use this as a handrest, or if you're eating your food back here. On the actual door sill, you've got this nice illuminated logo right here. On the front it will say e-tron, but in the rear you do get it like this, but it's still illuminated and looks very cool. And if we head over into the driver's side of things, again, it's exactly the same as the rear. You've got kind of like a hard leather, a nice little panel design right here, Alcantara all along here. And then of course you've got your speaker for that nice sounding Bang & Olufsen sound system, and then a little bit more room up here, window controls, and then you've got your memory seats here as well, and then your trunk release is right here. And you also get right underneath here some ambient lighting, and of course the same thing in the front. When you do open the front doors, you are welcome with this nice GT ambient lighting look, which is nice. And like I was mentioning, in the rear, in the front, you do get the e-tron GT logo. Now, as for the interior, there are, I believe, 4 different color options that you can choose. You can choose black, which you're looking at, red, gray, or brown. Either one I think would look just beautiful on this, but I think a black on black you cannot go wrong with. And the way that these seats look, they're very of course sporty. You've got this nice sport look to it. You've got beautiful bolstering, which obviously will hold you in tight corners and whatnot. And again, you've got that nice pattern again from the rear, and these front seats are heated and ventilated. They're also massage seats, so both driver and passenger can have the beautiful massage in a silent vehicle. Also, both driver and passenger seats are power adjustable, which nowadays it's a must-have in any car. Underneath, you've got your traditional foot pedals, nothing too crazy going on there. And then up top here, you've got your lighting controls and whatnot. You've got a beautiful looking steering wheel, which I'll cover in a second. This is power adjustable. And when you do enter into the e-tron GT, you can just see the craftsmanship and just the quality of Audi vehicles in general. This particular one is just fully futuristic in my opinion, and it just looks like, you know, any other car can't compete with this. But you've got your speaker over here in the center and down there as well. You've got this hard leather up top that goes all the way along here, but this side is a little bit, I guess you would say, soft leather compared to this one. But again, regardless, it just looks very clean. And even on the vents themselves, I like how they continue this material all along here, and it just goes all the way to every single vent. And they've also added this nice finish from this side along the whole dashboard, which just makes it look premium. And of course, in front of you, this digital gauge cluster just looks phenomenal. There's a lot of stuff that you can actually do in this, which I'll cover in 1 second. But again, this steering wheel, like I mentioned, is power steering wheel, which you can control from underneath it. And it's a fully leather wrapped steering wheel. And you've got this kind of chrome matte finish, you know, trim that goes all the way along with that gloss black finish along all of the controls. And you can't forget about the center here. You've got the, you know, iconic Audi logo. And of course, you've got paddle shifters on this as well. From this side right here, you can control the different settings and stuff like that you can have in front of you. And right here is your Bluetooth. And I like how they did this. They just have the heated steering wheel on the actual steering wheel, so you can just press it and it heats your steering wheel. You don't have to, you know, look over here. It's right by your fingers, and you've got your volume knobs and whatnot. And to the left of the steering wheel, you do have your, you know, high beams, turn signals, and all of that. One cool feature, if you do want to turn off your blind spot monitoring or, you know, lane departure and all of that stuff, you just click a button and it turns it off, which is so convenient, just right there. And right under your turn signals and all of that, you've got your cruise control settings and all of that with adaptive cruise, so you can set kind of like the distance and whatnot. And to the right, you've got your controls, you know, for your windshield wipers and all of that stuff. So as for the center gauge cluster, you can see, of course, your driver assistance stuff over there for your lane departure and whatnot. You can see your mileage, how much battery usage you're using, time, temperature, and all of that good stuff. So if you want to change the view, you can press the right button, which will go into your music settings on the left hand side. You press it again, it'll go into your phone settings if you have it connected. One more time and it'll show you the map in the display of the center gauge cluster here. But if I go ahead and press the view button, it's going to change the whole dynamic of how everything is displayed to you. So you can see everything got a little bit smaller, and you've got a little logo or your actual car in the center there. So now if I press the right button, the center gauge cluster changes and everything on the right stays the same, which is nice. So you get a little bit of a bigger, I guess, screen in the center here if you do that. So especially if you have the map, it's the whole thing, which looks very cool. And even when you're using the map, a small little cool feature is if I press this little scroll wheel down or up, it'll zoom in and out of the map, which is very cool. And if you want to switch through these driver assistance ones, so you're just going to go through the little scroll wheel, so you can see driver assistance. If I go up, your long-term memory and all that stuff, short-term for your battery consumption, how much range you have left, and then obviously the date and time. If I go all the way down, you can see traffic signs as well. This will recognize traffic signs, which is a really cool feature. So now if we go into the center handrest, if you want to call it, you can see it's a very tiny room and space. But if you open it, you're right, it is tiny. You don't have, you know, much room in here to put, you know, things that you would normally do in a normal car. But you've got USB ports in here and a 12-volt adapter inside there as well. So if you want to charge your phone and whatnot, put a wallet in here, you can definitely go ahead and do that. Right in front of that, you've got two more cup holders. Again, this nice gloss black finish just ties into the whole vehicle and looks very cool. Above that, you've got controls for your media center here, which I'll show you in a second. If we go more up, here is your, obviously, your, you know, selection for your drivetrain and stuff like that, if you want to go drive, reverse, neutral, whatever. And you've got your button here for your parking brake, which is obviously electric. You've got your start button right over here, and another little space or slot to put a very small thing in there. Right above that, you've got, you know, a little bit more buttons here. This button here is to turn on and off for your display. So right now it's turned on, so if I just tap it, it turns on, and if I press this, it'll turn off. It'll just say if you want to turn it on, just tap the screen. Right next to it, you've got your parallel park assist, which of course is a must-have, and then you've got your sensors here for your backup camera and all of that. You've got a top view and then a bunch of other views that you can kind of cover, which right here, I'm not sure if you can see, it says individual. So if I go ahead and press it, you can kind of flick through different ones, efficiency, comfort, and all of that. However you want to drive the vehicle, you can just select it through here. And you've got some venting right above that. Right above the venting, you've got controls for your heating and cooling, of course, and I just love the layout of this and just how nice the buttons feel. They don't feel flimsy, they feel really premium. You've got controls for your ventilated seats and then heated seats, same thing on the passenger side. And you've got kind of like a nice LCD LED screen, which is very nice. You can just flick through whatever you need to. So like I was talking about, this thing here, it doesn't look anything, you know, too fancy and whatnot, but obviously you can do like your you can forward and reverse your music and stuff like that, change it, power, mute it. Volume knob is actually, you just go around like this and it will turn up the volume, as you can see, which is really cool. And of course, above all of this, you've got the beautiful 10.1-inch touchscreen, which is really nice, especially when you press the buttons. You kind of feel that click that you're pressing something, which is nice. So on the screen, there's a bunch of things that you can do. Of course, if you press the home button like I just did, you can go through like radio, media, phone, navigation, vehicle. There's a bunch of different settings that you can do. If I press the button right underneath there, it's going to go into your radio settings, like your HD radio, so you can flick through that. You've got music right underneath that, so you can listen to whatever if you have a USB port or your phone connected. Underneath, you've got your phone settings, again, if you have a phone connected. And then of course, right below that, you've got your map settings, and it's a very responsive touchscreen actually, which, you know, you can just flick around and it just feels nice to have something like this. You know, Audi has done an amazing job in all of their vehicles, just providing the best of the best stuff. So if you go back into the homepage and go under vehicles, there's a bunch more things that you can do. You can obviously select through the Audi drive select. You can either press it through here, or you can select the things through here. So whatever you need to do, you can do that. And you can of course raise and lower the vehicle. If we go ahead and press back, you can also see vehicle data, which will obviously tell you how much range you have left. If you go back, also if we go into charging and efficiency, here you can set up you know, things that have to do with your charging and stuff. So if you go into charging here, you can actually set when you want your charging to start and stop, set a time and stuff like that. Now if we go into seats, you can do stuff here as well for your seats, of course. If you go over, you can actually do a massage. These are front massage seats, of course. Now there's a bunch of different things that you can do. You can do stretch, pulse, wave, relaxation, and you can choose the intensity of how you want it, which is cool to have, especially in an electric vehicle with massage seats. Why not? Now if we go into the air conditioning setting here, you can obviously do your footwell temperature and all of that stuff, which is cool to have. You can have it kind of like a split one, so if you want the driver's side more cooler or warmer, you can do it. Same thing with the passenger, so you each have your own little thing. If we go ahead and go into the light and visibility section here, you can do obviously your rain sensing, automatic door contact light, interior lighting you can do from here as well. You can have the brightness however you want for the ambient lighting, and you can choose just, you know, different colors if you want, or whatever you need for interior mood lighting. Next, if you go up into parking aid, here you can see because you have front and rear sensors, you can kind of set the volume of how loud and low you want it and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do here. Even you can turn your rear cross traffic assist on and off and all of that. So a lot of customization that you can do even with safety features. Next, let's go into driver assistance. Again, here you can choose the intensity of how you want everything done when it comes to your driver assistance. You can do basic, individual, or maximum. Right above all of this, you've obviously got your mirror with the compass built in. Above that, you've got interior lighting and stuff like that, assist and SOS. And you've got this beautiful panoramic sunroof. It's not a sunroof, it's just a, you know, just a standard glass panoramic, but still it looks very nice and clean. And especially, you know, when you're driving around town or whatever, you have the full sky to your advantage. And of course, same thing with your rear passengers, they can enjoy and do what they want. And heading over to the passenger side, of course, you can't forget about the E-Tron GT illumination, and then of course on the door sill as well. Can't forget about these beautiful Napa leather seats, and you've also got lighting here for ambient lighting on both sides and underneath here as well. If we go ahead and open up the glove department, you've got a, I guess you could say, decent amount of room to put whatever you need to in there. Nothing too crazy, but you've got room in here to put small things. Go ahead and close that. You've got this gloss black that continues all the way along here, along with that you know, LED e-Tron logo, which just makes the final touches on this vehicle really nice. Now, when it comes to the engine, of course, this doesn't have an actual engine. It's an electric vehicle, but this is with the dual motors. It has a 93 kilowatt, you know, lithium ion battery, of course. And when it comes to horsepower and torque numbers, so you'll have 469 horsepower, or if you are in, you know, boost mode, you're gonna have 522 horsepower. And then same thing with the torque, you're gonna have 465 foot-pound of torque, but in boost mode, you're gonna have 472 foot-pound of torque. And this bad boy can do 0 to 100 in just 4.1 seconds. Top speed in this is 245 kilometers an hour, and the total range that you can get with this is about 383 kilometers on electric range. And when it comes to the competitors for this bad boy, of course, it's the #1 choice is the Tesla Model S, which obviously competes with this, and the Porsche Taycan. Again, this is probably my favorite looking design vehicle out of both of their competitors. This is probably the one that I would go with, but let me know in the comments below which one you would pick. And that's it for this beautiful looking 2022 Audi e-Tron GT. Let me know in the comments down below, do you love this or do you hate this?